let's start with a Brad Inman op-ed that came out this week on Inman. We'll link it up as we always do in the show notes. What our Peloton obsession has in common with the U.S. housing boom, like the rise and fall of Peloton, which announced 500 layoffs Thursday. America's geographic reshuffling has ended with high interest rates further squelching demand, Brad Inman writes. He writes now, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe 4, maybe once a quarter he writes. So we like to pick up his articles when he does decide to write. By the way, Nicole, I don't know if you
brown
saw
nosing there. Little brown nosing.
We're talking about the Peloton layoffs here, 500 layoffs that announced last week. This week, Picasso in real estate just announced laying off 30% of their workforce. So more real estate related layoffs as well. So what the heck is the correlation here between Peloton, obviously the tech bike company, and our real estate market? Brad says the COVID bounce, signing up for the pricey at-home fitness program, was the thing to do when you were locked down in your home. You never did it, Nicole. I thought
didn't.
I thought that would be something you would do.
No, but I did. I didn't. But I did join a gym, and I got out of the house. I hired a coach.
Have you ever Pelotoned?
Never Pelotoned. Have you?
I've done it in the studio in New York. This is before COVID.
No.
When Tom Toole and
Tool's a big one. He likes it.
And you know what? It's worked for him. He's lost a ton of weight. He does it every single day.
I like it.
He's avid.
I'm not a cardio gal. I'm more of like weights.
Wait, yeah. You're a heavy lifter. You are.
No, I'm not a heavy lifter. I'd like to weight train.
You're a powerhouse. I got it. All right. So in the past 2 years, home buyers reacted to the pandemic, obviously scattering themselves around the U.S. looking for safe and affordable housing, and the market has boomed. So Brad is saying the market boom was more impacted by this reshuffling during COVID and the COVID craze, not because there was long-term demand. And Brad goes on to talk about, hey, if you moved from Brooklyn to West Palm, you're going to be moving back to Brooklyn.
Yep.
Like, he thinks a lot of people in this article are going to be moving back to wherever they moved out of during COVID. That's what he sees coming. He also quotes Rich Barton from Zillow. So, during 2020, a Zillow earnings call, CEO Rich Barton said, we are like really getting into this, what they would call the great reshuffling. New habits and norms are forming rapidly. Rich was quoted back in 2020. Working from home, we have found better, more efficient, and more healthy ways to live and work. We're not going to just go back to the way things were. This is a tectonic shift that we expect to play out for years to come. And so Brad's saying that tectonic shift is temporary, and the working from home is not a long-term solution. Nicole, would you agree with Brad, or do you think that Rich Barton was more correct, saying, hey, things are not always going to go back to the way that they always were?
So I guess I feel like it's a little bit of a mix, but I do think that, we've already seen people already moving back, at least in our markets. There have been some people that are moving back, or if they haven't sold, to actually physically move back. Again, we're close to New York City. So people are now, maybe using their homes as like a second home. And then, so I guess I agree with Brad. If I got to pick a side, I'll pick Brad's side.
In the comments, where are you? Are you on Brad Inman's side? Do you think Rich Barton has something to what he's saying, that no matter what, as we come out of it here, and we're out of it, I guess, in 2022, or when we look forward in 2023 with other challenges, not just a health crisis, but economic challenges, do you think Rich Barton's going to be more correct, or do you think Brad Inman, with this article here that he wrote this past week, is going to be more correct? My thoughts, Nicole, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I don't think everybody's moving back. I do think that some people that can, work, and this isn't the everyday American. So I guess I got to be a little bit careful here, but the person that can work remotely, the person that can travel a lot for work, may choose to live somewhere because they like it now over the last
or they've just picked up a different job. I mean, there's so many people that, shifted, that did a job shift too, re-examined sort of what their future looked like, and picked up a different job too. So
I've always said that I do think what Zillow says, this great reshuffling, moving around a lot and moving more often as technology helps ease that, those moves.
Yep.
that more transactions will happen. They're just not going to happen anytime soon. I've been saying it over and over and over again. We're in a cold war of real estate where you're going to see transactions just completely plummet.
Plummet.
Redfin's Daryl Fairweather, she broke it down this week on a podcast with The Real Deal. Main reason home prices are not falling more than they have is because homeowners are not listing their house. Homeowners were able to lock in record low mortgage rates, and they're better off staying put. I first guessed this at the beginning of the year. I remember sitting with David Childers from KCM, and I said, hey, what do you think of my theory about this cold war in real estate? Meaning just a lot of people aren't going to sell because they get this low interest rate, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to buy as these rates
Right.
get even higher. And that's what's happening right now. So Rich Barton's prediction has certainly hit the skid marks, and I think it's going to be on pause for some time. But love to know your thoughts in the comments below.